P.F. Jung is not a centrist. He is a conservative who is too embarrassed to call himself a conservative. You could see it in his debate with Destiny. Even though Destiny's a point of sale, in the debate Destiny rightly pointed out that P.F. Jung does not criticize the right the way he criticizes the left, and he criticizes the left to a much greater and more severe degree than he ever does the right. P.F. is a piece of crap grifter who pretends to be a centrist. He is garbage. Destiny is a point of sale, but he cooked him in the debate. His type is why the far right is rising. Guaranteed in 3 to 5 years, he'll be either a QAnon conspiracy theorist or a groiper. Well, I already believe that there's satanic degeneracy going on at high levels of society. I mean, I don't even know who disputes that with P. Diddy, Dan Schneider, all these different people, Jeffrey, you know who. Weird rituals bind people together. At low stakes, that's what every fraternity in America does. They do weird shit, turn off the lights, brand people, stuff like that. And as you get to higher and higher levels where there's lots of money and power involved, of course you're going to have higher stakes weird rituals. And they don't even have to be satanic rituals. It's just bringing people together and doing illegal things so that they're all in the same boat and no one rats on each other. Like, duh. What other explanation for, Jeffrey, you-know-who is there? That's why people like Alex Jones go too far on the Bohemian Grove type stuff. Like, oh my God, they're out in the woods doing weird shit. It's like, yep, that's just basic ritual psychology. You can look it up. Now, being a groiper? No, I will never be a groiper because groipers hate the wife jack meme, which is a sign of utter social depravity and probably closeted homosexuality. And they hate Jews as a race. And as a general rule of thumb, anyone who purposely tries to conflate being a Zionist with being Jewish is helping Israel, right? That's literally what Ben Shapiro wants to do. If you criticize Zionism, what you really mean is criticizing Jewish people. If you're a groiper and you're advancing the same talking points that Ben Shapiro's advancing, then that's lame. It's honestly like watching the normal kid in school giving the slightly slow contrarian kid some very basic education / common sense. Maybe we do need gatekeepers. Also, comedian. Jung saying he's a comedian is the only funny thing I've heard him say that actually made me exhale out of my nose. That was funny. Okay, I think this is actually fair criticism. I would say one of the biggest mistakes that I'm making is half-assing the comedy and being willing to say offensive things while also, I'm still kind of insecure about it. Like if you go and watch my Horseshoe Theory podcast episode, there's one instance where I make a joke and you could just tell how insecure I was about just to be clear, that's a joke. No shit. I think Martin Luther King is one of the ultimate radical centrist figures because no matter who you are, there's something to like about him. Like conservatives like Martin Luther King because he, content of your character, not the color of your skin.
Meritocratic.
Yeah, and progressives like him because he was a socialist and fought for economic inequality.
Yeah.
And I like him because he hated gay people.
Fred Hampton. Kind of in that.
Was Fred Hampton also the way? By the way, that's a joke. I don't like Martin Luther King because he hated gay people. And so I think that's a sign of weakness and insecurity. And I already said maybe Israel did 9/11. Not sure why I'm worried about Martin Luther King, hating gay people being a joke, which by the way, you should look up what he said. So yeah, look, it's okay to spread misinformation as long as you're being funny. And if I'm not being funny, then I'm just spreading misinformation, and that's no good. This isn't enlightened centrism. This is stupid centrism. I like your videos, but man, this is embarrassing. Okay, these comments are very interesting, and I call them Jack Sparrow comments, because on the one hand, if someone already likes me and my videos, and then I put something out that even they don't like, well, that's an indication that I really screwed up, right? On the other hand, it's kind of like, this is stupid, this is embarrassing. But you do like my videos, right?
You are without doubt the worst pirate I've ever heard of.
But you have heard of me.
And I think that's great. I think that it is good that there are people who hate me or dislike a lot of what I'm saying, yet still choose to watch my videos. And I find that interesting, and I wonder why. The only emotion I'm looking to inspire people is not excitement, happiness, optimism. It's morbid curiosity. I'm so glad Paul is championing enlightened centrism so people can see how morally and intellectually bankrupt that entire concept is. Good job, dude. Please keep showing the internet your entire ass with absolutely zero shame or self-reflection. Well, I am doing the self-reflection, and I am incentivizing negative comments, which is a great idea to do. This is a great thing I'm doing, right? Reading the comments that people say so that they continue to do this. That's going to help me not have people say this type of shit, right? I will show my entire ass. I would absolutely get naked on camera for the sake of proving a point. It just has to be a really good point. Paul not realizing he is a right-winger with ethno-nationalist tendencies is one of my favorite things on the internet. Right-winger with ethno-nationalist tendencies. Well, I hate to break it to you, I'm not actually from Israel, so it's so embarrassing to have such unwavering confidence to make unfound statements and be bought into a position just to instantly desert it when faced with the facts you never cared to look at in the first place. Do better, Paul. Yeah, look, my strategy, the way that I do things is I just be as honest as possible, which includes if someone asks me what I believe, I'll tell them what I think and then explain why and then listen to their opinions. And if I'm corrected on the spot, then good for that. This is what I don't understand. People got upset that I spread misinformation, but as is clearly the case, Destiny cooked me in that debate that I had with him. And so if everyone is watching this debate and saw Destiny cook me, then that's good because everyone could see how foolish the kind of person who spreads the misinformation that I allegedly spread is. So I double down on, yeah, I'll just say what I honestly believe, and then people can judge for themselves if I'm being authentic or dishonest or spreading misinformation, which even that is complete bullshit because saying what I believe to be true is not spreading misinformation. It can be wrong, but I don't really give a shit about that. You know what? Wait, I love nobody loves spreading misinformation more than I do. Forgot, I have irony to lean in on. Lame clickbait bending over backwards to find a way to make this pseudo-intellectual loser relevant. It is kind of funny how it shows you do have to make stuff up to make this guy interesting because despite his best attempts to look like someone with something interesting to say, he'll always be clinging on to other people for success. Well, this is true. To be clear, the whole reason I have a platform is because of JJ McCullough.
Hello, friends.
Who, by the way, pre-approves and pre-screens everything I say, particularly when it comes to Israel. And I do find the pseudo-intellectual label is interesting because I know I'm not that smart, and there's a common theme of like this guy thinks he's smarter than he really is. And no, I really don't. I promise you. I'm well aware of how dumb I am. I know what my motivations are. You don't have to be that intelligent to have a clear understanding of what your motivations are. You just have to be mature and wise and honest. And I am, of course, all of those things, in my opinion. My brother, you are the most bland, uninteresting, milquetoast, useless archetype of a let's all get along, answer somewhere in the middle on every topic, pseudo-enlightened centrist there is, which gives each side ammo to treat centrists as grifters. And I mean that not impolitely. Thank you. Come back when you've evolved your views enough to know which stances you should lean far right or far left, since such that you average center. Well, look, I do believe in Hegelian dialectics, kind of. It's like the correct position on every issue is a synthesis of right-wing concerns and left-wing concerns. And I just don't see how that's wrong, and I forgive and accept people who think differently. And the guy's name is Chad, so we must accept the alpha on this one. The fact that you never seem to talk about anybody that identifies against what they were born as when it isn't an extreme edge case proves how hateful and pitifully funny you are. Almost like you're burying your intense emotional disgust with the majority of actual trans people by talking about genuinely mentally unwell people. In order to get around the fact that people would call you out on those things, you use people like that person in order to imply that they represent trans ideology as a whole. You'll definitely come out as conservative or straight up white identitarian in the future. This comment was on the video called Everyone Deserves Empathy, where I explain why even the most delusional person who identifies as an adult baby is still deserving of empathy and should be treated and listened to as a human. And I'm definitely going to end up conservative or a white identitarian because of it. And to be honest, that's going to happen anyway. So it won't be for showing empathy to transgender people, that's for sure. It'll be because I love white people, which, to be clear, nobody loves white women more than I do. All right, let's get to the Zog comments. This Zog thing is such an embarrassing non-point. Just admit you like saying the spicy words your audience likes, coward. Of course I like saying spicy words, you fucking fat. Dude, the literal definition of the Z word is not the issue. Just like the N word, literally coming from a word meaning black, is not the issue. The baggage of the word is the issue. The historical context, who invented it, who uses it, and why they use it. I obsess over the denotation, but I ignore the connotation, which is the actual problem. Okay, I get this criticism a lot. And to be clear, I thought he was saying that saying Zog is as bad as saying the N word, which fortunately he clarifies that is exactly what he means. Yeah, look, I do not take this criticism seriously, just being straight up. I have genuine relationships with real people in my real life, and I respect them, and I actively do seek to know if they think that I'm, making mistakes or being too edgy or going too far. But I know who they are, and they know who I am, and we have a real relationship. So what that means is, and I want to be perfectly clear about this, okay? There is literally nothing anyone could say in the comment section of a YouTube video that will get me to stop saying Zog or stop me from making racist jokes. I don't care how offensive my alleged bigotry is, I will continue to say shit about blacks, Mexicans, Palestinians, and yes, especially those filthy fucking Italians. I was also thinking about it. It's like, if I really believe, as I do, that art and jokes are more important for conveying the points that I want to convey, then why am I here using why am I trying to use logic to explain to people who are thoroughly logic brained the meaning behind my edgy joke? I'm just going to use the jokes and be ironic instead of explaining it all the time. So what that means is, if you believe that I'm spreading bigotry and you choose to click on, watch, or comment on one of my videos, then you are doing all of the things that the YouTube algorithm wants you to do to cause me to spread my bigotry to other people on YouTube. And so technically, anyone who comments on this video that I'm being anti-Semitic is themselves spreading anti-Semitism knowingly. And because nobody loves Jews more than I do, I think it's incumbent upon me and people like me to let them know that in the comment section. Now, let me end by giving some credence to this last comment. All I can say is pride cometh before a fall. You've just witnessed a streamer playing fast and loose with his vices because he thought he was smart enough to not let them take over, only to get burned because he didn't understand how corrupting they can be. Destiny gooned too close to the sun. You, Paul, are edgelording, and the sun is looking awfully close. If a year from now, someone leaks a text message when you're dabbling in Holocaust denial, I will shrug and say, yeah, no surprise there. Not because I think that's what's in your heart right now, but because pushing boundaries like this stuff does stuff to your character over time. Be careful. Well, first, just on the point about Holocaust denial. The what? No. I can never be a Holocaust denier because I hate Israel too much, right? And if you hate Israel, you can't deny the Holocaust, because if you deny the Holocaust, you're calling Norman Finkelstein a liar because his parents were killed in the Holocaust. And if you're calling Norman Finkelstein a liar, you are undermining the greatest critic of Israel that has ever lived. And that would therefore make you an Israeli asset. So denying the Holocaust is, well, not only pretty sure objectively quite stupid, but also a Mossad op. No, but this is the broader point, right? The broader point is, Paul, I'm worried about you being meta-ironic and edgy and all that. And I mean, look at J-Reg, right? J-Reg himself has become irony poisoned. And, you know, it's a problem that he talks about. And especially as, you know, things get more pessimistic, it's like, well, man, maybe I'll just become the ironic character that I was. And yeah, that's a real danger, and I'm aware of it. And I appreciate that people are pointing that out. But, well, like I said, I'm not explaining my jokes anymore. So either continue to watch me, continue to have morbid curiosity in me, or further anti-Semitism. Or wait, no, that would be further anti-Semitism. Or unsubscribe. I expect a precipitous drop in the subscriber count after this video, hopefully, if I'm achieving what I'm achieving here. And lastly, I will end with a nice, upbeat, positive comment, you know, to kind of be cheered up and be optimistic. I thought JJ was like your grandmother in the thumbnail, didn't even recognize him. Okay, perfect ChatGPT productivity example. I have all these images saved on a PowerPoint. Normally, I'd have to go through and hit save image, save as picture, select the folder, so on and so forth. Instead, I'm going to say, okay, so there's the macro, Alt F11. Insert module, space, run, YouTube channel, images saved. All right here. Use AI for productivity.